Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
Decent enough.
Trolling rats.
Trolling rats, indeed.
I do control the rat.
My rat when I'm a rat. That's right. Anyway, here we are. This is where we are. We're in the middle of a big-ass crater. What's special about this big-ass crater is that it seems to be caused by repeated localized skyfall located entirely within this crater. It keeps happening. They keep falling here. You've gathered up a lot of supplies, but you're both running out of food, and you've ran out of the way to get it at an increased rate as opposed to just normally mining it. So the party has decided to head home, or at least to Bartiza, until they have properly gathered up supplies. The current weather is undetermined, but luckily for us, we can do that.
Oh
Yep,
boy.
hold on, let me just get the dock open. Alright,
I can go
we have a
ahead
new
and
bastion
prepare.
turn. So that means Ara, if you would be willing to roll weather.
Oh, I thought we were changing
Nope.
how we do
Yep,
weather now.
exactly. It is my turn
Okay.
now. It is still a young seed?
Late seed. Or no, a young seed, yes.
Yeah.
Chad, if you would be willing to consume the rations.
I consume
All of
the
them
rat.
by yourself.
Nom 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 nom.
Okay. Albatross, if you could roll the exploration roll, the 8 plus 5.
Uh-huh.
And while JC is rolling the weather, if we could each in turn choose our travel action. Starting with Ara.
Oh, you know what? I'll study this time.
Okay. Golden.
Well, I want you all to know you are lucky. It is warm, clear skies. One roller on that dice, one lower on that dice, and it would have been hot, meaning that you would have expended more rations.
Oh.
Yes.
No, anyways.
So Golden, what is your travel action?
Guard.
Guard?
Yeah. Did that? Is that
Okay.
not going through?
It didn't, but I was able to get it. Okay, then
Just a touch quiet.
Chad.
I control the speed at which rat studies.
Okay. Albatross.
I am going to gather food that we are running out of.
Okay. For me, what action would it be to, like, try and use my, actually, I don't have the tools on hand, never mind.
What tool do you need?
I was gonna say alchemist supplies.
Rat has alchemist supplies. Or could have alchemist supplies if that's what we make on this bastion turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was going to say,
You have to
What-
convince him though, keep that in mind.
Yeah. I could have it be part of studying the natural sciences together. I was going to say, what action would it be to, like, try and use my alchemist supplies proficiency to infer information about the properties of the star metal?
I would say that that is a crafting bastion turn thing, not really the on the road sort of thing.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I will also gather.
Okay. Please go through the process.
Okay. So now that we've chosen that... let's roll threat, since we, that doesn't affect any of the stuff that we have. Albatross, you want to do int whiz? I can do dex int.
Sure.
Golden,
Okay.
would you mind the GM rolling me?
It
You're
does
right,
not
very
really
good
matter
assumption.
for me. I can, like, all of my modifiers are quite literally the same on these, so.
Okay. I kind of have to do one where dex is my lowest, so...
Yeah.
Guards rolls at perception.
Yep.
Don't forget to add an extra +1 because, actually, you're the only one guarding. My bad. On that note, Albatross, you and I each add +1 since we are both gathering. Is that correct?
Yes, I got a 9.
Okay.
What
Okay,
does,
so 9 and 16.
why does it say R1 equals 1?
Because halflings get to reroll on 1.
Ah, okay. Got it.
Okay. Then, now that we have the threats, we all do our learning. So, Ara and Chad roll 5d6, the rest of us roll 3d6.
Because we're sharing an action, does that mean that we get
Plus
to
1.
add? Yeah. So I just get 5d6 instead of 5d6 minus 1. That's great.
That means that I would be getting
Holy
14 because I go up to the average because I have a teacher,
If you have a teacher, which it seems like you do.
which I do. Yep.
I got 4 1s and a 5.
Oof.
Do you have a teacher, right?
No, not
Well,
for studying.
Oh, this is crazy. I'm never gonna. I mean, it's fine.
What? My progress that I had written down is not there anymore. In my personality traits section, I had my progress, and I had it out of question mark because I was unsure. The number's just gone now. Whatever, I'll just start over.
Oh.
That does not seem good. Are you in the right player?
No, I'm in
document?
group mobile storage.
Yep, that'll do it.
Oh, okay. The mules are learning class features.
There we are.
Munch.
Okay, so we've done threat, we've done learning, we've done gathering. What are the results from us gathering with the 16 and the 9?
The 9 is a nothing. The 16 is 4. Hold on. You know what? I'm realizing something. I think it would be good since I like the math as it is right now, but I think it would be good given how it works that if like the more people who do it, the more value you get out of it. And so just saying add everything up and then subtract the number to get it,
Okay, so that would be a 25 total.
which would be minus 13 would be 12.
That makes
Okay.
more sense.
Yeah.
Because like, if it'd be really stupid for
Everybody
like
rolls
all
a
of
12
us.
and nobody gets anything.
We get no
Mhm.
food from traveling and looking for food for a full week. 2 weeks, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. If everybody rolls a 3, that's one thing. But if everybody rolls like a 10, that's a different story.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good change.
Okay, so we get 12 rations, you said? Yeah, 12.
Yep.
Oh, rat.
Yeah, 12 rat. Okay, and now we have the option for RP vignettes, if we would like. So, on deck are Rat and Ara, and Hiroi and Tefrid.
For studying, right? Mm.
Yes. Rat is... He's basically just, in any time that he's studying, it's probably going to be another spell slot, I think. It's just him reassembling and then disassembling and reassembling and disassembling and trying to get parts out of it every single time he does. So he'll build a little device that flashes and then he'll disassemble it and try and leave something out of it and keep it working. It's just a huge process. Parts fucking everywhere. Like,
Kaio is, again, working on increasing his charisma, and the way that he's doing this is kind of bugging everybody else, just walking up to other people that are actively working on something and trying to get them to answer a riddle or engage him in some kind of delicate wordplay. Hiroi is too busy to do that truths and a lie kind of game, but he's still going to try and make some attempts and just kind of pretty much test out his verbal skill on whoever will listen and even people that might not want to.
I'm sorry, Rat.
don't say sorry to me. Say sorry to Aura.
I can be sorry for both.
Yeah, so Rat's skull is currently fucking glued to a doohickey, a thingamabob, one might say.
Oh, doozy, what's it?
Yeah. More of a contraption, honestly.
A thingamajig?
I think so, yeah.
Me when I'm at the Thingamajig factory.
I got fired from my job at the Thingamajig factory. They're replacing it with the doohickey foundry.
Honestly, the Doohickey Corporation's got their sticky little fingers and everything. So what sort of things does the chat up end up happening?
What?
What sort of things does that chat up end up happening? like you said, he said he was gonna talk your ear off a little bit.
Oh,
or is it just abstracted?
It is very much abstracted because it's not one specific person. It is me bothering everybody in the group, basically at random when I think of something that might be fun to say to them.
Gotcha. This is a little intense.
I was thinking the same thing.
We have no tents. Actually, we do have a tent, but nobody's in it.
The mules are in it.
True.
They deserve it,
They are the backbone of the team anyway.
quite literally.
Yeah.
The rigid flipper, no. The strange phalangic, no. The backbone, that's the one.
Wait, do we have a tent? I could have sworn we had a tent. Yeah, we do. 2-person tent. There we go. 2 mule tent.
Two dog night.
Anyways, if nothing from
This
this
is
one,
also
then
a little
the other one, food gathering.
So which one is the dexterity one again? I forgot.
I have it on my other tab. Hunting is dex wisdom, foraging is int wisdom, trapping is dex int.
Okay. So I imagine Hero is rigging a trap, and after a bit, he turns to Tefrid and says, "Oh, I know the basics. You are an archaeologist after all, but well, we've traveled together some time, and frankly, I know almost nothing about you."
Oh, you know all the important bits. And I could say the exact same about you. I'm out here just trying to find my own way in the world.
Interesting.
Past doesn't really matter too much here, does it?
I suppose it doesn't.
Yeah.
Not unless it decides to matter all of a sudden.
No, if it decides to matter, we'll run very quickly. That was ominous. Sorry, I was hunted by a demon beast at one point. That didn't make it better. I'm not very good at this.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, that is only a little worse than some of the things that happened back home at Dugan.
Oh, such as?
Essentially, as I'm given to understand, office drama on a murderous level. As I understand it, in most parts of the world, disagreements over funding and the like don't usually end in plots to bring about the downfall of the other party or even their death.
People do a lot of crazy things for money. That doesn't actually sound too out of the ordinary to me.
It doesn't sound out of the ordinary, but living through it is
I can
Rather
imagine,
something
yeah.
else. Which is one reason why my early years in my career were spent learning divinations.
Try to see that threat coming.
Hmm.
Did it work? Was that a dumb
I would say
question?
that my study of divinations went about as well as it did for the world as a whole in recent years.
You know, that makes a lot of sense, yeah. I mean, I could try teaching you. We were never much one to rely on divination. Better to trust the evidence of your eyes and ears. I could teach you a thing or two about that.
That's actually something that I've been working on myself in recent years.
For example,
Particularly.
which action are you taking again?
Trapping.
Trapping. Like for an example, you shouldn't be walking along that path because it's leading to your snare. You're gonna give off a scent that's gonna drive the rabbits away.
Interesting.
We want to be downwind of the our traps.
Right, that makes sense.
Don't want to give them an opportunity to see us coming, or else we're not getting any dinner. Just things you pick up along the way.
Right.
You'll get the hang of it. Honestly, I'm just glad to have some help. Normally, I'm out here alone doing this.
And I apologize for that. Much of my time recently has
Oh,
been
that wasn't a
spent.
criticism at all. Oh, no. Before you waffle on, that's not a criticism. Everyone's new at something at some point.
Fair enough.
When I was just a kid, I was getting stuff screwed up all the time. That was when I just started. You were from a whole other place of living there, bud. You know things that I could never know, like Draconic. I can't speak the language of the dragons.
Fair enough. Although in my case it isn't. It decidedly is not the language of dragons in my case.
Hmm.
I speak the language of our neighbors.
I'm sorry, I'm not very familiar with where you live. Who are your neighbors?
Some weeks to the east of Dugan is several settlements of Yuan-Ti in the wooded regions south of the Great Desert.
Oh. I don't think I've ever met a Yuan-Ti. Apparently makes
You would
sense.
be all the more fortunate for that.
Oh, are they nasty?
In many ways, yes. Reliable business partners as long as you don't appear weak.
I didn't catch that last part of that sentence.
He said, reliable business partners as long as you don't appear weak.
Ah. Maybe we'll run into some in the city then.
Maybe.
Oh, kind of doubtful. Pretty a long ways away from everybody.
Also, judging by the current time of year, I would imagine we're staying in Bartiza for the Querax, yes?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, we don't want to. No point in going out in the woods for the Queric.
Are they still
All right.
currently out on their own?
They're probably heading back at this
We
point.
probably have at least one rabbit.
Yeah. Anyway, we should discuss our plans for that with the others once we're back.
Yeah, of course.
They return to where the party has finished packing up their encampment before heading out.
Right. So,
Yeah.
I imagine Rat and Friend are not too familiar. Oh, Golden had to head away.
That is unfortunate.
Hmm.
Ah. Cool.
Real. Well, I can
So-
still start this out,
Well, I was
even
gonna.
if.
He's kind of the most important one for that. So, Rat,
Yeah, that's-
Kaio, two of you
Sorry?
got anything that you're getting
We
up
already-
to while they were away? Like after you had that done, after the camp's packed up, you have a while extra after that.
Nothing specific, just kind of thinking about. I mean, we've been traveling together for quite some time. This is a very significant time of the year, not just for people in general, but also Kaio personally. So he's kind of introspective. If he locks eyes with anybody else while he's kind of getting ready to continue traveling, he'll flash a smile. But if you look at him without him noticing, he looks relatively solemn.
Rat can absolutely pick up on that.
Lovely. Yeah, I mean, as it stands right now, this time of the year is a little confusing for Rat because, I mean, I guess it's not like a thing I should explain, but
For
he's
reasons.
kind of he already focuses on his work, but he does make a pretty clear distinction from when he is working to when he is doing other things. His body language changes, his attention changes. He's kind of just working without really working for him. Like he's trying to keep something off of his mind.
Oh my god. Twins, that's so funny.
We can be independent together.
That's very much what's happening, I think. You know, if you've heard the term parallel play, where you're kind of doing similar things but not interacting with one another,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very much kind of that. Like a
Cool.
tangible sort of silence that they are intentionally not really breaking.
Golden and I do it all the time.
That is the profession of teaching in a nutshell.
I'm gonna go get more yogurt.
That is a good choice.
I will be still on headset though, so.
Well,
Welcome back,
he's
Golden.
returned.
So, I imagine at this point, Hero and Tempered have made their way back?
Yep.
Okay. Right. As of now, we are roughly 10 days from the start of the Querax.
Mm-hmm.
I would wager that you, Rat, and you, Friend, are unfamiliar with them. Is this correct?
He kind of tilts his head.
Not no word, but no in 10 days start specific time.
He does stall before saying specific time.
Right, the festival for the new year. Coincidentally, Fortiza is roughly 10 days away. I would advise that we do not travel during the Querax, and I would also advise that we take this time to an extent at least, indulge in the festivities and endeavor to teach Friend about them. What do you all say?
That sounds wonderful.
Rat shrugs and continues to toil.
I think safety is always a good idea, and this could be a positive experience. Maybe?
Right. Then, once the Quaracks are over, we can decide whether we are, in fact, traveling to that survey in the southwest, or if we are returning to the city with the Starfall in tow. Any objections?
If you insist.
I think we should be quite proud of the work we've done. I don't know that we really have much to report, but well, it's something, right?
I would say we have a lot to report.
Quite a
we
bit,
know
yeah.
we know the exact location of the Starfall. We know that it is a regular occurrence. We know we have the material in tow, a lot of it, in fact, and we know something of its properties.
Oh, wow. You guys were really busy when I was not being near that.
Well, you can thank Raph for at least the vast majority of that.
He kind of grunts in acknowledgement that his name was said, but continues to toil.
And
Yes,
shall we
I'm
be
here.
on our way?
Let's.
And so they did.
Did you make a adventure roll, Mr. Tefford?
I
Yeah,
did.
it was
we
an
have
8.
8. Shame. Why is that that's an int check for the one up there
1d8
was
plus
also
5.
an 8.
Group storage.
Yeah, sorry. I rolled 2 8s tonight. It's it's a whole thing.
Right, never mind. Lead the way.
Alright, back to Bartiza.
It's you, Tefford.
Yep. I was on a different. There we go. Game is paused.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we should absolutely try to minimize travel time as much as possible since we only have
Yeah.
the 1 week. Or 2 weeks.
It is 1 point of movement.
Yep. And then dos.
2, 3.
It is the 42nd now.
1, 2.
Oh, one should hold it. We can
Oh,
still go
shit.
ahead and move. We can still go ahead and move the next motion,
Yeah.
but you are in this tile for the event. At this relatively arid pocket of the area, you end up finding a nice oasis which has a few bushes which tend to be a little plump. It ends up being a good way to get a bit of some of those supplies that you end up finding on your way over. You can also go ahead and feel free to add 5 rations just as an extra part of this check.
All right.
It is a nice breather amidst the very hot sun that is high in the sky at this time. The mules walk forward slowly and begin sipping from the water. There's not too much going on nearby. Any of the players doing much?
I mean, if there's not much to see, I'm just going to kind of play with the water a little bit, using a shape water, just to kind of pass the time.
You swish it around, you end up moving it out from one of the smaller puddles, and in doing so, eventually, after probably about a minute or two, you end up seeing a very big beady pair of eyes looking up at you.
Oh no. I was. Oh! I will call out to the group. There's something in here.
Rat looks up from himself drinking, much like the mules are, snout in the water.
Oh my god, it's so cute!
He
is
is
very cute.
small, probably about a foot long. He's got
Oh my god, half rat size.
yeah, he's got about he's got a few pieces of jewelry on him, a backpack, and he's looking up kind of terrified at Kaio for a moment and turns around and says in a language that some of you don't understand, but many of you do. If I select this real quick. Gulp. So did that show up properly for some of you?
Yes.
Okay.
I can see that, yeah.
Showed up for me.
Should I be able to read this?
Yeah, should I be able to read that?
Are you able to? Well, the question is are you able to read that before you ask that? Because
Right, who is
if you
able to
are or
read
aren't-
that?
I can.
I can.
I can as well.
That is
Everyone?
not correct. Hold on.
Mhm.
I
have it
assume it's
selected.
Draconic.
I assume the module is not doing it. Test 2. Is that
Yeah.
also
Read it.
H? Oh,
L with a
That
G.
was a G.
well, yeah, that was me misclicking H. Huh. The language module does not seem to be working, even with that.
How about this?
I could see test.
It seems that the Draconic and all of the actual languages system is not randomizing. This is problematic.
Hmm.
But no matter, it is in fact in Draconic. As it looks up and just goes, hello.
Rat just kind of tilts his head.
Greetings. Are you also looking for the Starfall?
It's just looking around at the rest of them, and then it sort of meagerly turns to you and just looks up at you for a moment. It backs out of the water a little bit and pulls out a tiny little scroll from its back. It ends up looking at the scroll, then up at you, then looking at the scroll, then up at you, at like the group of you there, and it just goes, one moment, as it rolls it back up, puts it in its pack, and dives down into the water.
Friend walks over and leans over to try and see where it went.
You can see just as its tail ends up going down, it dives underneath and goes into some of the crevices in through the rocks, since it's a relatively rocky oasis. There's a lot of cracks in the walls.
How long does the help action last? Is it just until the start of your next turn?
I believe so.
Hmm.
I would probably say it's until the end of the helped target's turn.
Okay, so I cannot offer. Yeah, never mind.
I mean, what are you trying to do? It depends on the
I was-
action, really.
Being a paranoid motherfucker, I was going to use a Fey gift to potentially offer advantage on initiative and offer some THP.
Gotcha.
1 foot long little lizard.
True.
He may have friends.
That is very true. What is, each of you are native Draconic, right? Or wait, Hereway, are you 2-2? Or 2-1?
2C.
2C. Sorry. Excuse me. Yes, proper terminology. 2C. Eventually,
Or not
he ends
2C.
up coming back out with another one that's not much bigger than them, and one that is a fair bit bigger and gets bigger after it climbs out of the water. This one is probably about 4 feet once it
Double
ends
rat.
up growing out.
We have the rat scale.
Now a unit of measurement.
Mhm.
True. This one on the right, the yellow one, ends up speaking up. It's in quite a bit of awe at the situation, and he's just like, "Could it be true? They're here!" and they're just gesturing with both of their arms at the group.
What
What
the
do you
hell are
mean?
you talking about?
Of note,
Hello.
this is still in Draconic, but you all can still have them translate
Mhm.
as needed.
I assume it was obvious that Rat was speaking in Draconic in the way he wasn't fumbling
Right,
words.
yes. The
He
two
looks
of-
up to hear. Sorry, yeah, he then tilts his head up and looks up to hear away. You have permission.
Thank you.
Could it? What? If you don't mind us asking, what are you doing here?
We were looking for Starfall, and we are bringing it back now.
They end up whispering a little bit. Rat has a much easier time picking up on it since he's closer and a little more fluent in some of the stuff, so he's able to parse through some of the whisperings as they clearly end up saying, "It did say from the sky." And they turn around and there's clearly some degree of miscommunication going on, but nonetheless, it's there. They look up and they say, "Hi, could we ask you for a bit of help? Are you seem friendly. You don't seem like you're gonna kill us and skin us, are you?"
Of course not. What sort of help?
Not in that order.
Rat opens his mouth to say some snide comment, but then closes it, seeing that Hiroe is actually making the situation go.
We've been traveling out very, very far. We're actually quite far from our home right now. We've been trying to find someone who can help us at home. We'd like to live in caves and canyons and down in little crevices and creeks and all that.
Rat nods his head approvingly.
And most of the time we live at the mouth of the Great River. It's a great place. It's wonderful, it's warm, it's wet, it's beautiful. Unfortunately, the returners and the sky shifters have started fighting at our territory. The one on the left then speaks up. Fortunately, their fighting isn't very directed, so their battles happen kind of randomly and they don't really target us. The one on the right speaks again. Unfortunately, the fighting is potent and they use a lot of earth and that causes cave-ins. The one on the left speaks up again. Fortunately, most of us were able to evacuate to our home city. The one on the right finalizes this set of questions. Unfortunately, that's the only place left we have to live. And they kind of look at Hero and Rat after that series of back and forths.
Rat tilts his head.
Can you not make caves larger? Expand. Build stronger caves.
We can, but ultimately we're starting to get afraid that it's gonna cave in too, but
At this
we're
point,
also running out of material to actually survive and trade with the outside. So at the moment we're probably not gonna last more than a year if something doesn't change. So we're trying to find someone to help. The blue one continues to be silent and just stare at various different members of the party throughout everything.
When he stares at me, I wave.
What was Fred gonna say?
this point, sensing that there's not going to be conflict, he's going to start washing himself down a little bit.
I have a question. What sort of creatures are the returners, and what were the other ones?
The other ones were sky shifters. They end
What
up
sort of creatures are they?
they end up giving you a description for the returners that ends up being able to become pretty clearly figured out, which I'll give you it, but it's kind of obvious as play as what it is. They describe them as very thin and white and with a bunch of different equipment, much like the kind that each of you are wearing. they're very thin, brittle, and yeah, they've returned from where they were supposed to be.
Skeletons.
The other one,
And the-
Sky Shifters, ends up getting a lot of descriptions, some of which sounds a bit like it could be dragons, some of which sounds like it could just be worms, some of which is like lions, some of which is like regular people. There's a lot of different descriptions you get for that in a way that it doesn't really make much sense, other than that they are in the air and shift a lot, much like the name Sky Shifter would suggest.
Well, they can't be dragons. Those have been extinct for gods know how long.
Rat kind of tilts his head and looks up.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No.
The records are clear that there haven't been dragons for millennia.
I don't care what your records say.
And he's completely forgotten that he's talking in Draconic at this point. He's not used to like talking to him in Draconic.
Members of my clan have seen them. Members of other clans have become them.
This is still in Draconic. I just want to be very clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Pio's definitely listening, not saying a word, just kind of arms crossed, like,
I am
okay.
staring intently, and I'm being an active listener despite understanding nothing.
The two of the smaller ones also go into the water to get out of the heat.
Well, if they're described as shifting, they could be some kind of celestial or other creature of that sort. Could I make a check of some kind to like recall types of outsiders that can shapeshift?
Is that something Hero I would know?
Considering he was a pretty decently high-level wizard at some point.
I mean, I guess.
Would it be religion?
Sure.
Okay.
You're able to determine that it's absolutely not. It does not.
But then again-
It does not match the description of basically any sort of, like those are Fae, right?
Which things?
Like when you say outsiders,
Outsider is basically like Fae, Fiend, Celestial Aberration, that sort of thing.
it doesn't really match up with any of those in like any of the traditional sense. It might be mechanically, but it is not by description.
What you would expect from it.
It's not like
Wouldn't
angels.
make
It's not demony. It's not.
And again, it wouldn't make sense for it to be an outsider either. How would they even get here? The spell plague has made that almost impossible.
Rat's tone shifts and he goes back into common.
Well, clearly is something that wants skeleton break.
Right.
And if fight skeleton and have battle with skeleton, mean skeleton can backfight, mean not too strong.
And we could find more skeletons.
More skull, more gold.
Right.
He turns back to the lizard people.
And what do you have for us if we do help you?
They look at each other and then look at you and then kind of shrug, and then one of them sort of pushes the other one to the side. No. We I'm sure that if you go, you can talk to our leaders. They have plenty of stuff that they can. Oh, what am I kidding? Just we can't get
Our
on as it
rewards.
is.
Our rewards are the skeletons' heads.
Tell you
Rat
what.
kind of walks over and kicks Brendan in the foot.
It hurts Rat's foot.
I know it does.
They're
Tell you what,
they're very timid about it, and they try to come up with a few different answers, but ultimately don't manage to actually have an answer.
Tell you what, we need some time to resupply in the nearest town. Would you be willing to come with us for the next 2-3 weeks or so, and then you can take us to your home, and we can help you with these returners and sky shifters.
They end up looking up into the sky. It's very, very hot, and we do not do very good in this air. We've been mostly traveling by night. They look around. If we were carried or traveled by night, we could probably make that work.
That should be easy enough.
Rat moves over and pats on Hero's leg,
This one very good at carrying.
I am not.
and then he kind of shakes his head. Right.
Right, sorry. This one's very good at carrying.
That, you know what? The I'm not is probably one that, given how many times that general interaction has come up, that other people in the party might start knowing that in Draconic. Just like the general verb for, like, you know, no and not.
Rat would have said it a lot too, huh?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
They, two of them end up going back down into the water and come back out with a small selection of supplies and a few waterproofed bags before they get on a few of the different ones. The blue one ends up walking with a tarp over their head.
Oh.
The others ride on the mules and get, like, put clothes over their head to shield them from the sun. They bring lots of water.
Lovely.
You know, I could potentially use Presty to use one of the
Keep them
effects.
what?
You chill Prestidigitation.
Mm-hmm.
You chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour.
Ooh.
I might be able to, like,
keep the
yeah,
tarps and clothes cold.
Mhm.
yeah, because I can
Is
maintain
the-
3 of the effects.
Is it that they need to be cold, or is it that they need to be wet?
It's mostly
Well-
that they need to be wet, but that also helps them from evaporating.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure these guys are grung.
If they don't, the reason you dry out is because of exposure to heat, because water doesn't evaporate if it's not hot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it does. It's just much
Well,
slower.
yeah, slower.
Mhm.
What matters is if it's dry, and if it's hot and
Mhm.
dry, it goes fast.
Mhm.
If it's not hot and dry, it goes slow. Mechanically, I don't know if they're grung or not, but I know that grung are certainly much more frog. These are more like skinks.
Okay.
If they
Mhm.
are a race.
More salamander-esque.
Yeah.
On the journey back, Rat makes an point to not like directly in their faces, but like not out of their view either. Like anytime he like sees like a lizard, he eats it because he does eat lizards.
That is a good
That is
point.
something that's one of his main like staple foods from the Warren is that they would get lizards that lived in the caves too.
The blue one continues to be completely unfazed and strong about it. You can see very visibly as the yellow one as she just gulp at one point.
So, what are your names?
Hold on. Ba. Let me go back to the other page.
Mo, Larry, and Curly.
True. The red orange one ends up going Glebos. The yellow one ends up
What is
going
his name again?
Glebos.
Glebos.
Glebos!
Glebo!
Rat looks up and says
Name is Glebos.
in common and points to the two Glebos.
The yellow one ends up waving, goes Mizuk.
Nice
Does the
to meet
same.
you, Glebos.
What was that question? Not that one. That one is not Mizot.
Yeah,
This-
yellow one is Muzak.
Yeah.
Glebos is the frog.
Yeah.
Wait, all of them are Glebos the
Yeah,
scout.
this is incorrect. So that is not.
I know.
That is not what it listed as. But that is funny. And then the yellow one
We are
also
Glebos.
points to the blue one and goes, "Gubbug."
Gubbug.
He's Gubbug. Gubbug continues to not talk.
Glebos are Glebos.
Gabug, Misak, and Glebos. I love them so much.
They have certainly made it into the top 10 Gooby Woobies.
I'm sure that whenever we get back to our Warren cave, that they'll be able to give you much better answers than any of us could.
Right, and I apologize for the delay. It's just we are almost out of food, and these next few weeks are bad for travel.
They end up looking up at the sky and then sort of cowering back underneath it and being like, is it that time? We don't have a very good track of days since we can spend a long time underground at a time.
Right, it's almost the new year.
They go back to cowering underneath the tarp on the back of the mule. The party eventually, at the end of the day, as they set up camp for the night, has a bit of time where the two of them end up falling asleep quickly, with Blue maintaining watch. It is looking away from you, just out beyond the camp. You have a bit of time to yourself to discuss the situation.
Well, these three are representatives of their home, which seems to be caught in the crossfire between skeletons and beasts they referred to as sky shifters, flying beasts that their descriptions were inconsistent. I can only assume they're shapeshifters.
That's concerning.
I agreed to help them, but not until after the Quirax, because traveling during that time would be suicide.
It would be. Are they going to be able to hold out for that long? That's almost 14 days away. Probably more. 18. Yeah, that's the number. It's probably somewhere between those two. I'm not very good at time. Are they going to be able to hold out until then? I'd be happy to help them.
Said can outhold year.
What was that?
Said can outhold year.
Ah, okay. Then I'd be happy to help them out.
Well, so just so you know, I don't know if it's exactly what I said. The statement was they would not hold out until the end of the year. So it's like less than that.
No. Rat knows that. He's
Okay,
just
He's
commenting.
just
He's just
lying.
being a dick.
No, he's not. He's not even necessarily being a dick. He's trying
he's
to
just
speak
wrong.
common. He's just
Got
wrong.
it.
Oh.
But a few weeks to ensure that we have the necessary supplies and that we aren't traveling during potential storms of wild magic is well worth the wait, I would say. What of you, Kyle, friend?
He looks a little uncomfortable. He's still kind of not super familiar with what's going on with our new additions to the party. I trust your judgment. You've been reasonable enough so far.
Reason not to help them.
Food, time, money.
Right.
We get paid in skulls.
Exactly. At the bare minimum, we kill skeletons, we bring their skulls back.
And big city of rations.
And at best, we make long-term allies. Anyway, I will take first watch.
Alright.
Hmm. I didn't know that things like this lived out here.
Don't.
Yeah, new to me too.
Well,
Rat kind of shakes his head.
no, don't. Came far, look help for.
Oh, where'd they come from? North or south?
Rat
I
kind of
guess there's
shrugs.
other directions. What?
Ask not.
Wait, that seems like important information.
No will after time end year.
Okay.
Uh,
That seems like a vital question, actually.
yeah. Not like we have much choice in the matter right now, but
We can ask in the morning when everyone's awake.
No
thought-
need to ask.
Okay. Kaio's going to go to bed.
Suppose then Rat burrows. And we all...
It is now the 43rd.
They speak no common, right? If I were to say,
That's right. They look at you funny and they try to say a few words in. They very slowly speak in Draconic.
Don't you speak Draconic, Kaio?
Oh no, I speak Goblin, which is how we were able to communicate.
I see.
There's like a triangle here.
I'm going to try a few different languages. So Common didn't work. Goblin, I'm assuming they don't know any either.
That's right.
Primordial, nothing.
You probably pick up a few words on some of Primordial because they
Great.
speak a little bit of Aquan.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, I will try to communicate them.
Yeah, it's minimal. It's as minimal as it can be in this system. It is like words and certain verbs. You don't really understand sentences, but if they said their big waterfall, all right, you could pick that up.
Well, I mean more for them to understand me than for me to understand them.
Got it. Well,
What I want to
same, vice versa.
Yeah. What I want to communicate essentially is just, we're happy to help you. Sorry for your troubles.
That's probably a little tough given the vocabulary diff.
Rat is amusedly watching him struggle through it.
Yeah, no, he's trying. I mean, the next one's Celestial, but I don't know what exactly that's going to sound like here. Yeah.
Be not afraid.
Literally.
Sir, this is the scariest moment of my life.
Evangelion noises.
Continue on, Tefred.
Yes, there we go. That's 2 movement, right?
As we pass through this square, Rat like grabs more little bits of gem rock and like fills it up again. He's still really likey shiny rocky.
None of them enough to be trade good, but ones that are special to him.
Yes.
They clinkle in the pockets.
They feel funny when I stick my hand in my pocket and like run them over the little pebbles.
44.
2, 3.
45.
1, 2, 3.
46.
1, 2, 3.
And
47.
now we're not
Hold.
spending the night in the desert.
Hold.
Oh, shit.
47.
Oh.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
I definitely
Would
planned
be-
that we weren't going to spend the night in the desert. Don't you worry. That was all
Give me.
success.
You know what? Let's go ahead and take a break for a moment, since
Okay.
given where y'all chose to stop, while I figure out how to do this one. We'll be back in a bit. And so it will be the quest of Gleebush, as it becomes known throughout the land with their legendary companions of Gubug the Silent and Mizok the Kind.
I wonder if Gubbug and Gub would be friends.
Probably true. You're adventuring through these rather arid lands when you end up coming upon this little patch of savanna, almost grasslands clearing. It's clearly a spot that there's been a bit of settlement activity before, as you end up finding at one point a lone house on a small hill that's been completely abandoned and stripped of anything of use or interest or even really being able to discern what happened, as it's nothing but a charred husk. But as you continue down, you eventually find a patch of wet water that is supporting a small oasis with a few trees around it, as well as a water well present.
Oh. What a lovely little area.
It seems like a good place to set up camp. And the skinks in particular appreciate it, as they go down and get to roll around in the mud for a bit after taking off some of their packs and cool off. Well needed.
Well, they're having a good time.
Oh.
The blue one, of course, does not, because they are a chump.
Rat jumps up on the well and looks down it.
It goes down very far, and there's a lot of moss on the sides.
Fuck yeah, moss.
Woo!
It reminds him of a friend at home, and he looks at it for a little bit longer.
Good times. The bucket still attached to the rope, even if the crank at the top does not rotate due to rust and decay. The
And
rope
I-
at least holds and sways gently in the late evening wind.
Hmm. Can I try to pull it up with my mage hand, or is it more than 10 pounds?
The bucket?
Yes.
Yeah, you can pull it up. I mean, it's not far down. It's only like
Oh.
a foot down past the entrance. It's kind of as shown here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought there was water down there.
I mean, there might be, but the bucket is at the top.
Okay, I'd like to draw water.
If you had a way to light the bottom, you could probably pull some water up. But at
Oh,
the moment, the actual like leverage and crank for the bucket is non-functional. Rat
So
could
here's what I'll
probably
do.
repair it if he wanted to, but
I'd like to pick up a rock, cast light on the rock, and drop it in the well.
it goes clink clink, and then after the first two clinks, it has more of a thud thud as it hits areas that are more mossed and molded,
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually starts to settle in an area that's a bit of muddy water.
How far down would you say that it goes?
Probably about 25 feet.
Oh, perfect. I will... I'm doing a lot here, sorry.
Is it
I will
30-foot
use-
range?
30-foot range for shape
Wow.
water.
Lucky you.
I know. I will draw up the water and then place it in the bucket, which conveniently is not all the way down there, so that we have
Still
a place
rather
to-
muddy water, but it is here.
You know, we don't get to pick sometimes. We can boil it for safety, but I'm sure we're going through water and rations. It's nice to have some supply. But that's what Kaya's doing.
The blue one goes over and also looks at the water for a moment, looks at Rat, and then moves back to the bush and sits down in a little almost nest of it as it just sort of presses down around it before sitting down tranquilly.
Is that one
Was-
Mizok or Gub Gub?
That one is Gubbug.
Gub
Gubbug.
Yeah,
Was there
Gub
water in
is
the
the
bucket?
Gooby Wooby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dirty water that.
That was a
Kyle brought
parsable
us.
sentence.
Friend goes over to wash himself somewhere.
Might make you dirtier.
He doesn't
For
care.
him, it probably makes him cleaner. That's a very good point.
Even if it did, he doesn't care.
True.
I'm gonna
Tefred?
fiddle with this piece of rotting wood, see what's around near it. See if I can like lift it out, see to check what's underneath it.
There's a few worms. That's probably part of the hunting / trapping check. Gets you a little bit of bait for it.
Nice.
Some kind of old door. The area where any sort of mechanism or if there was a mechanism at the handle, it's long since rotted away or been rolled away. Hero, what are you doing at this time?
Honestly, probably studying the spell book, trying to prepare for swapping out cantrips when he gets to town, because he's realizing that encode thoughts is much less useful at the time.
Right, when
At
you're
the present moment.
Wildernessing.
Yeah, so he isn't like actually using cantrip formulas yet, but he is like studying in preparation.
While you're all having a bit of a wind down at the end of the day, probably about 7:30 or 8ish. Lots of rest. The tent's being set up for whoever's there. Golden, your character friend, ends up feeling just for a moment as he begins to hear a whistle through the air behind, as you quickly grab Rat and spin around to the other side as an arrow goes straight through where Rat was a moment prior as you move him out of the way.
I feel like given his size, I would just move him under me.
I mean, yeah, you grab him, pull him. You pull him to your chest underneath you, yeah?
Just grab him by the scruff.
Rat kind of scrambles a little bit as he's confused at what's going on.
And here's the pshoom, as it also goes a little bit past Hero into some of the trees behind them. A rather large voice, and sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, have I determined where they're coming from yet? But it sounds like they're about to announce themselves.
Yeah, a rather large, booming voice ends up coming from mostly the south of here and a little bit to the west, so like this sort of area. Attention, lodge walkers invading my territory with clearly hostile and threatening battle tactics. My name is Cornworn Squigglebonk, and I am the leader of the expeditionary force many times far away for the name and honor of Queen Hustlefuss. May your intentions be pure or face annihilation. What do you want? Why are you here?
Can we see who is saying this?
Nope. Whoever they are over there somewhere in the trees.
Just step back here for a moment.
What's your standard of big? We are varying sizes.
They don't give a response to that.
Anyway, hi, I'm Tefred.
Hello, Tefred. Why are you here?
Want to sit down? Take a break. We're trying to get back to the city.
Oh, well,
Artesa.
and you hear a little bit of rustling down there. Sorry about the incident. I was threatened by your approach, and one of my subordinates was worried about my safety, so I hope that they aren't hurt too bad.
I don't think so.
Rat grumbles angrily and squirms.
No, it doesn't look like it's too bad.
I would love to come out or send one of my negotiators over to talk to you, but it is against the policy of the Queen and her. He actually stumbles over his words for a moment. Proper tactics as would be becoming of a leader to do so before I understand more about you. So, no.
Did I ask a question? I'm just gonna whisper to Kaio, who's presumably next to me.
I
I
sure.
genuinely
I
don't know.
mean, no. I see what happens. Go for it.
I don't know what's being asked of me. I'm very confused.
They're asking why you're here and what are you doing.
Oh, I told him that.
Yeah.
Kaio's going to call out from behind the well because he did kind of just try to get out of arrow, target range. Just passing through.
Yes,
Just
all of us
moving it
just-
along.
We're not dangerous.
That is for us to determine.
We're normal dangerous. Not aggressive dangerous, just the kind that you let leave.
Yes.
Friend has been scanning the southern tree line this whole time. Does he see anything?
You can go ahead and give me a roll.
Perception?
Yep. Yeah.
That was almost a 1.
It is suspiciously unreasonably awkward for there to be no one you're seeing. Like, there should be something there and you don't see any of it.
I see.
It is awkwardly so.
And he's confident that there is no one there when there should be.
Right.
Okay. He just looks under him at Rat and just says, "No one is there."
Does he say that in a quieter voice or just in a normal one?
More hushed voice.
Okay.
Rat just kind of narrows his eyes,
What?
as he kind of scrambles out from under you and goes over to where his pack is by the fire.
We have you surrounded. If you don't start talking soon, me and my 60 archers will shoot you a lot. I've got
Our
80
intentions
people
are
under
obvious.
my command in this expedition. 60 of them are here, and you're outnumbered.
But we answered your question. Twice.
Not enough.
Our
Answer
int-
more. He's
our
very
intentions
clearly
are
being
obviously
insecure
pure.
about it.
We are intending to aid our smaller friends here, but we need to resupply at the nearest town before we start on the next leg of our journey.
Eventually, Golden, you end up, as you're looking a little bit more to the west at this time, as you're continuing your search pan around, you end up seeing as during one of the bits of conversation, essentially one of the trees moves a little bit in the opposite direction of the wind.
And
During
sort of
that,
snaps back to the tree when that happens.
Kaio,
Yes.
would you mind giving me an insight real quick?
Oh, absolutely. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Kaio is just going to kind of call out, I don't think this is really going anywhere. May we please leave or have this discussion in a more open setting? Less you hidden us public and more as, well, equalized.
We are going to keep it like this for the night, and if you leave in the morning, in exactly the way that we say, at exactly the time that we say, you can leave.
Right, but what if we don't do that?
He has a very he stumbles over his words for a bit with a fair bit of a unstructured demeanor as he goes, then you'll end up with more holes in that door.
I have a question for you. Guiding Bolt has a range of 120 feet. Do you think he's within Guiding Bolt range based on the sound of his voice? He's not hidden from me, is he?
He is hidden from you.
Yeah, they
Is
are.
he hidden? I can hear his voice.
Well,
Wouldn't speaking make him not hidden anymore?
No?
you can talk while
Not
you're invisible. It
necessarily.
doesn't change the fact that they're hidden from
So,
you.
let me see the text. Is it just a creature within range or a creature you can see? Yeah, so Guiding Bolt is just a creature of my choice within range. I would have disadvantage on the attack, but I could still do it.
You target a creature, it has to be in some way perceivable to you.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is I can hear him, which means he's not hidden.
I mean,
I think that
technically,
is a
in
very
that
bad
sense,
precedent to set.
in that sense, you could theoretically say, well, you hear somebody who's in a bunker, you could target them and hit them
Well,
with guiding
Okay,
bolt.
No,
how
no,
about, how
it's
about
not-
this? What if I point at the tree that I very obviously know something is up with?
Also true.
Yeah,
That's
so
the part that's more reasonable.
speaking of, I don't mean to like steal thunder from you, but at this point, Rhett has climbed up on Friend's shoulder with his necklace in hand.
No, do your thing.
No, Rhett's not doing anything yet. He's waiting and watching for Friend to to snap his attention again, because he's been noticing Friend has been looking around and paying attention to certain things.
So if you want to, you can.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was talking to you,
you.
Aura.
Oh, I mean... You know what? It's a holiday, why not? I think you should leave. That's all I'm telling you, is you should probably leave.
There is no response.
Any movement from that tree?
It is currently drifting in the correct way as the winds would seem to indicate.
Rhett is on your shoulder, Friend, grumbling like,
Shoot, arrow.
as he's got like the necklace like palmed, like pointing it in different directions.
Can I make an active perception check to see if I can see anything or hear anything that indicates where he might be at this moment? I guess the search action.
Golden can, if he chooses to, still just say something up with that tree. And just
Well,
try
what I
to-
mean is-
I would recommend at this point the party attempts to do something instead of continuing to act off of new information that will not arrive. As the situation stands, the party has all of the information that they can get just by looking and observing and doing those things without attempting to do something new with like a spell or an action
Yeah,
right.
or...
So the reason I was asking is I thought maybe he was moving from place to place.
Yep.
But if
I understand.
he's not, then that's yeah.
Friend
It's
is gonna put Rat down along with his great club and just start walking over towards the tree.
He calls out, "Hey, stop! Stop! Stop!"
He just ignores it.
Eventually, you see as the tree. You know what? I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna give it a buffer. Hopefully, this doesn't move everything around. All right, we're good.
Yippee.
Eventually, you see as one of the trees that is a little closer and a little more thin ends up shifting into the form of a small gnome that begins booking it away.
Oh, that's very cute.
Just turns back to look at the rest of the party.
Rat has fire in his eyes still.
Burn.
Oh. Are you gonna use your necklace?
No, he's looking. He has enough restraint right now. He looks at Hiroe and says it again.
Burn.
He runs away through some of the trees.
Oh. So
I mean, he was already running away, so I was just
yeah, he was definitely beyond guiding bolt range at that point, I think.
Well,
so just
what is it? 120?
it's 120. So I was going to let.
I mean, you could still
Rat-
do that. Like he is where he is right now.
Oh, perfect. I actually didn't
Nice.
see him on. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna cast guiding bolt on that man. Not enough to kill him, hopefully. Just enough to don't be a
Well,
dick.
guiding bolt is a fuck ton of damage, so
Nah, it's fine.
Roll it.
Yeah. VS. I just kind of some words in Celestial and a flick of the wrist.
It ends up quickly zigzagging pshum, 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 as it sort of darts in between at the very center point between various trees before it hits him, and he trips up and falls over to the side as he takes the damage.
Fantastic.
Rat sees he has fallen and starts running.
Not a lot. It's only 8.
And, friend holds him back.
Rat bites his hand. He's not actively chomping down, but the kind of where a dog doesn't like that you've picked him up, so they kind of nip at your hand and try and get you to stop touching them, but don't actually bite you.
As he barely starts to be able to stand up, he just puts both of his hands over his head and he's just like, I yield.
I told you to leave without all of this huff and puff.
He starts running away again.
I cast sleep.
He falls. He probably goes to sleep. That's probably
Let me.
enough.
It's probably just how much does he have?
Yeah,
23.
he's asleep.
Fantastic.
Restrain him.
Arrow shoot.
We have rope on the mules, I'm sure. Oh,
Oh.
Rat kind of relaxes his body as he's seeming to calm down.
This will only last for 1 minute. We need to make the most of it. Quickly tie him before he can escape.
Friend gets to work.
I am going to ask Rat if he doesn't mind asking our skink friends for, well, if they know anything about this
They do
person.
not.
Yeah, interesting. Some ne'er-do-well lurking in the forest. Quite rude, I think.
Forced.
Indeed.
Friend, without your quick thinking, that might have been the end of Rat. And I look over to the gnome again, and I kind of shake my head one side, then the other, across my arms. Well, maybe not the end, but it would have put in a sour mood.
Kind of walks over and spits on his foot.
Me?
No, on the gnome's foot.
Oh, okay. It wouldn't have been out of character.
He starts to wake up soon unless the party has other actions they take.
No, he could be awake. He's restrained.
Found him.
Yeah, we tied him up,
Yep,
right?
Yeah. Yes, but I'm saying, if y'all want to say anything before he wakes up.
Rat is just like a fucking Ring doorbell camera, face eyes against eyes, looking at this guy.
Hero is going to be kneeling down in front of his body, probably a good foot or so behind Rat, doing the looks inside cat meme.
True. He is groggy as he returns to awakeness, partially drooling on the dirt.
We're going to try this again. I am Nakaku Hiroe. renowned alchemist of the Court of Sky. If I wanted it, you would be dead right now. So, tell me who you actually are, why you accosted us, who you serve, and if you answer wisely, I will even let you tell me how you are leaving.
He takes a very deep breath and he goes, "What I said was mostly true. My name is Cornmorn Squigglebonk, and I am the leader of the expeditionary force, many times far away, for the name and honor of Queen Hustlefuss. And I did, at one point, have 80 other people on this expedition, but after a recall to Zamzatan, for a reason that I don't quite know, I had only 20 people on my expedition. And after another year, a few of them went to join a different one, which left us with 5 on our expedition. And then 4 of them got promoted to have office jobs. So it is really just me, and I'm sure they're going to tell me I can come home very soon." Gulp.
And that convinced you to attack us with an arrow for what possible purpose?
I'm very confused too. You seem like you're in like this. That was a poor choice of a poor decision.
He just kind of looks around nervously.
If we were nastier, your head would be at the bottom of the well right now.
And you do realize that by attacking us first, you revealed your position. We never would have known you were here if you'd been quiet.
You start. Well, like, here's the thing. Alright, let's just get this over with. I'm sure that you could just kill me and rifle through all my stuff and take my journal. So, he stumbles over his words.
I kind of look to the rest of the group. I wasn't planning on robbing him. Do we look like muggers?
Or killing him, right?
No, I was fine.
No.
Rat kind of looks up to Kaio, related to the mugger thing. He kind of shrugs, narrows his eyes.
You kinda do.
Ooh.
I look at what I am wearing, which is like very ostentatious. What mugger dresses like this?
He points up at your head.
Here.
Got him.
I close my eyes, give it a big, heavy sigh, and just kind of look away. And I walk into it every time.
Well, we can just get this out of the way. You can just let me go home. Zamzakdan is a good... He gives a unit of measurement that none of you are familiar with. South of the Great Lava Flats, and the passcode for getting through the tree portals is Zoizoi Fastapin. So even though, all of us promised to never do it under, threats of being murdered or severe pain, we yeah.
If new code, then why still out
surely-
here and not back home?
Surely that means you can let me go.
Sorry, Zoe's wife, what? Ah,
Fast open. Oh god. Thanks, Molly.
Yep.
I can always count on you.
Rat kind of looks up to Hiraway.
Think gnome tastes more meat-like or plant-like?
No! He's just rolling. He rolls over.
If we're going to kill him, do you think we could wait a few days?
Who said
What
kill?
would it be? 44th, something like that?
Look. Your career is stunted, and your attempt at attacking us was pathetic, and frankly, I do not understand why you would think to attack a party of 8. But the Quaraks are nearly upon us, and I am feeling magnanimous at this moment. As long as you leave, I will bear no grudge. But if you accost us again, I will bring the full wrath of the Night Singer upon you. Do you understand?
So if I join you and go with you, you all will protect me from all the beasts and nightwalkers?
Hiraway, I don't know that we have the supplies for yet another hanger-on.
You have enough supplies for the next few days, correct?
He shakes his head, yes.
Rat is just like mouth slightly agape.
No way you do this.
I never said he was going to join us. There's a city, Bartiza, to the east of here. You will not be joining us, but do with that information what you will.
Come on, you wouldn't just leave me out here to die to them, right? I mean, I can be so useful for you. I can. And he starts listing off a bunch of reasons that really none of them are particularly useful, and all you have to do is make sure I don't get eaten, right?
Tefford, what do you think?
I don't like that he's a liar, but that
Uh-huh.
doesn't mean he deserves to die.
Me.
He also only really lied about one thing.
That was a pretty big thing.
He also
How
tried
many
to kill
how many
somebody.
extra people he had?
He tried to kill 2 people, actually. He just sucked at
He
it.
did threaten our lives and then lie about it.
He did also shoot me and Rat.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah. Let's,
exactly.
No. Okay, that was one shot that was shot at Rat that then just sort of was near Hiraway because Hiraway was
Oh,
somewhat
okay.
behind Rat.
I
So
thought
he
that there were
whipped.
2 shots.
No.
No.
One shot.
Okay.
Mm,
it was a magic arrow.
He did try to shoot Rat.
Yes, he did try to
Listen.
shoot.
I'm being harsh, I know.
I do
There's
not
no
think it
reason that you need
unreasonable.
to die.
Yeah, he's just kind of annoying. And like he
I do not
missed.
think it unreasonably harsh to not show the utmost clemency to one who made an attempt on your life.
Oh, no, I mean, the spell that I cast maybe could have killed him. I wasn't really worried about it. And I realize now that was a bit immoderate. I don't know that he should accompany us, but I don't think that it hurts us to allow him to follow in our wake.
Agree.
Rat kind of crosses his arms grumpily.
If I see again, I'm eating.
Again, Bartiza is roughly 2 days to the east.
Yeah, we're not very far.
If you fear being eaten by these Nightwalkers during such a short time, then surely our presence would not improve things much.
He probably just wants us to be eaten first so that he can run off. But, well, that's
That
really a
is
him
true.
problem, isn't it?
Regardless, we will resolve this in the morning.
Yes, very good. Morning. Great idea. I like that idea.
We're going to wake up and he's going to be gone. You realize that, right?
Friend doesn't have to sleep. We will have one of us on watch at all times alongside friend, and we have our smaller friend as well.
All right, I'll trust your judgment.
And besides, secure him to the well.
Oh,
Oh, come on, you don't really need to do that.
we could secure him at the
going
bottom of the
anywhere.
well.
You
That
didn't-
could be fun.
You didn't need to shoot Rat.
I didn't shoot Rat.
Rat kind of turns around as he was about to walk away and just like
We'll
stares at
handle
him.
Not a rat.
He
Him.
lo-
His name
he-
is Rat.
Yeah, he looks at Rat. No, you have name dropped Rat during the conversation
Oh,
so
good.
far, I believe.
Excellent.
Yeah, he looks at Rat and goes, "Which I am terribly sorry for shooting at you." But no, I would feel so much worse if I didn't shoot him. I'm glad you're not hurt, because being hurt is very bad. And not good. And no one should really hurt anyone else.
Then why would you loose an arrow to begin with?
I thought he was someone else.
Right.
We'll watch him.
Indeed.
He ends up stumbling over his words for just a moment. Someone who was just a little bit bigger than him came through a few days ago and took some of my stuff, and I thought he was him.
Rat breaks his stare to just go do something else. He went from angry to just tired of him.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, he's kind of pathetic, but in a funny way, right?
I feel like if we leave him out here, he's just gonna die.
Good.
Why don't we do a show of hands and be very diplomatic about it? Should we allow him to follow us? Raise your hand. If you think that we should let him stay here and die, do nothing. How's that? And Kaio is going to just kind of raise his hand up after saying
What was
this.
the raise your hand option again?
Raise your hand to let him follow us.
Not join the party, not be with
yeah, of
us.
course.
Just he can follow, you know.
Yeah, he's
Follow in
not.
our wake.
Yeah, it's not. He's not Glebos.
No, of course not.
He's not our new best friend.
If you want an easier road to Bartiza, assuming that this vote passes, then you can follow in our wake, but not to be among our number.
I'll raise a hand. No reason.
Fury will raise his hand as well.
I look to friend. Does he seem responsive at all?
He can follow us.
Right, that seems 4-1, I mean?
4-1, yes.
Diplomacy wins. I don't remember your name, and I'm so sorry for that. It's just very long. Spend the night here. We'll leave in the morning, and you can follow us. How's that? Not too close, but maybe you won't die that way.
Your chances of survival will be much, much higher following the trail that others have blazed.
And if we hear you screaming, we'll probably do something about it.
Has Kaya's name been name dropped?
I don't think so yet.
I don't think so, yeah.
Rat called him out for his haircut.
Right.
He said hair.
Of course. Thank you, my lord. Thank you. As he sort of nods his head up and down as if he's trying to bow while still kind of just being bound next to the well at
Fucking
Kyle.
bobblehead.
Great. I guess. And
Thank you so much. That's a great choice. Honestly, I love that choice.
Kaya starts saying something and then stops.
A novelty,
And then-
really.
Yeah.
There's
He
the
just goes off to set up for the rest of the bed.
and the rest of the party has some time to themselves if they choose to do it outside of earshot of him.
Here I have a meme to post in game discussion.
Ah. At one point, friend, you end up turning to face the west for just a moment as there's some rustling, and you are still officially on guard. And when you turn back, you see as there is a small tree that is now tied up with ropes on the ground.
He just shakes his head.
Does anybody else do anything?
Are we all awake?
I mean, the question is everyone asleep?
Oh, I think I would probably be asleep at this point.
Rat is warning. It is inaudible, by the way.
I would say that Hero takes either third or fourth watch.
Gotcha. Audible alarm. What does the alarm sound like?
It sounds like an audible alarm produces the sound of a handbell for 10 seconds. within
Handbell,
60 feet.
okay. As Hiroi takes his watch, which he ends up taking with friends because friend doesn't really need rest beyond just
Occasional powering
making sure
down.
that he's chilling out and not doing anything strenuous. You go over and you are also able to observe as there's essentially a small bush or lopsided tree that is partially slumped up against the well, bound with various ropes holding its branches together. Complete uninterest?
No, I know that he's just being goober and yeah.
Alright, it is the next morning. Handbell.
Alright, gets out, looks around for what's causing the alarm to go off.
Oh, I thought you I thought when you specified the other one you were also saying that you wanted that as a wake up one as well. As
Sure,
an
why
actual
not?
wake up alarm.
We'll also do that.
Yeah, my apologies.
No worries. crawls out of the warren, retches like a cat. Disgusting. Just like rat.
Does the party have any other activities they would like to pursue in this scene?
Only thing I can really think of is that after untying him, basically just giving him directions to wait 20 minutes before he follows east.
The tree remains stationary.
You know, kicks the tree. Make sure it isn't actually a tree.
The tree falls over.
Okay.
No noises, just falls.
It falls over, yes. It, rustles through some of the bushes as it falls over. It was already mostly uprooted, so... But it's now sideways.
Did we lose our gnome?
Did we?
We should check the mule's packs.
Everything is in its place.
Rat shrugs.
Well, nuisance gone.
And I presume we start traveling?
You know what? One more moment. Probably the mule on the left goes over and starts trying to chew a few of the leaves off the tree, and that does cause him to break his concentration.
I see.
He tried very, very hard to make sure that he didn't break it when he got kicked, but a second one, and he probably fails.
Sure.
He's trying really hard to make sure that he didn't, yelp or anything. And then a few seconds later becomes a bush.
What?
You got the instructions, correct?
The bush remains silent.
Rat walks over.
Did say how want it taste.
The bush slides a tiny bit closer to the wall.
Rat walks over to it.
Not had greens for a while.
The bush slides and becomes a piece of moss on the side of the wall.
Ooh,
Just
moss
give
remind
the-
of moss grower.
It becomes mold on the ceiling of the wall.
Just
Hopefully
give
out
an
of range.
answer. Is it that hard to provide a yes or no?
He gives no response.
Rat pulls out the necklace and lights a fire in the bucket on top of the water.
He unshifts and runs away.
And then extinguishes it.
Yeah. I assume the rope is now somewhat frayed, but still intact. Hit it, Tefred.
1, 2, 3.
Superb.
48.
1, 2, and we can't cross the river with our remaining runes.
Correct.
Can we?
You store one movement point.
And 49.
49.
It is
Easy.
just, it is just before noon on the 49th.
And then To the Limsard friends, I apologize for the detour. We will leave as soon as this time is done.
She speaks up. No, it's totally okay. It's if you're gonna go that far, you really need to make sure you're prepared. It's gonna be a bit of a journey, so it's a great choice. We're just glad we found someone. The Sky Chasers. It's you.
Sky Chasers?
You chased the Skyfall. That's you. That means you're big and strong. More communication does not provide clarity.
Well, thank you for the confidence. I can only hope that our services are adequate. I would imagine that on our first day in town, we are like buying rations en masse, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably. so.
the first thing we do is we get like a shitload of bread.
Yeah. Get that bread.
Get that
Because
hard tag.
boy, are we fucking hungry.
Yeah. Why do we have 20 torches anyway?
It's starting equipment. It just happens to you.
Yeah.
In the dark.
Do we just want to like dump 10 of those?
I'm happy with that.
Torches are for losers.
Dark Vision gang?
Superior dark vision gang.
Damn, I can't compete with that. So how many torches do we want to get? Rations, not torches.
We need 800 torches.
So 140 rations for the time being, at least. And then we can see how we're doing on encumbrance after that.
Alright, how much money is 140? I don't remember how much they are per.
3 or 2 or 4?
4 copper. It's literally listed.
4, okay.
I guess that means that 100 would be 4 gold, which means 140 would be
5.6 gold.
Okay.
Expensive.
Yeah, but we have the money.
There we go. Well, 157 rations.
Also, you know what? I have
I could have sworn it felt like we had more storage at some point than we do now.
I think we just have more shit on us.
That's
Well, the
honestly very
only-
true.
Shit we really have now is Dartball.
yeah.
Isn't that? That's true.
Group mobile storage is still 270. Oh, you got your 157 rations. 183 of Starfall.
Mm-hmm.
Which that leaves you with like only about 120 of everything else on the mules. Right.
Mhm.
Which is like the tent, the bedrolls, the mining picks, the rope,
Tools.
the torches, all that jazz.
Me when I 20 torches. I'll bring that down to 10 torches since we are dumping half of them.
Seeing as we are nearing the first quirk. Would the party like to do the quirk this week, or would they like to do it next week?
I think I would like to do the Quirax this week, personally.
I don't think I can this week.
Okay.
It is understandable.
because-
Then we should have some roleplay in the town on these 2 days that you have gotten back. Also, why is there a mess? There we go. Okay, weird.
Yeah, tonight I have a hard cutoff of when my family gets home, which is an undetermined time. So,
Well, it is the morning after you have arrived. It is the 50th.
How much could I potentially get for selling the cat's love that we have? Or that I have, rather.
It would probably be very difficult to find a buyer in this city specifically. If you ever end up finding someone who's particularly interested in any like poisons or like potion craft, which there might be somebody, there's probably a few people in the city, but you'd want to find someone who's significant for it to be able to sell it. A specialized trader, as it were.
I'm mostly just trying to figure out what I can sell to, like, have enough money for, some leather.
How far off are you?
If I want to maintain lifestyle, I am half a gold off. But that's fine. I've been doing fine with padded armor for the time being. That said, though...
I mean, chances are, if like one or two of you end up taking crafting actions, attempting to find out things to actually do with the Starfall, you're gonna get good chunks of loot rolls as options, or like being able to actually craft something.
I mean, that is what Rat is focused on.
Yeah.
Like, very much so. He went through all of this trouble to get the Starfall. Now that he's in a place that has facilities that he can use.
The way I'm currently planning on ruling it is essentially being like, probably each 20 Starfall, you attempt to create a crafting on it, and if you succeed on that, you get like maybe 15 segments of a loot roll, so like 1.5.
Yeah.
I think that's probably around the ratio that I want. Because sometimes that means that you'll figure out something to craft with it. Sometimes that means you'll refine it in such a way that you can trade it away. And I think that's good. As long as you don't mind the abstraction of not being like, I want to turn this into a staff, right? And just following the path of what it does.
Rat definitely wants to reserve some, because he is also very much like dead set on figuring out how to turn some of this shit into a barrel, despite its resistance to change. Because if he can get it into a barrel, that resistance to change is going to be really nice for it not heating up. That is his line of thought. Because hot hurt hand.
Yeah.
Actually, 9's probably too many for that. Probably 6 loot rolls, I think, is probably right for 180.
On that note, I would like to potentially bring the whole party in to talk about the Starfall.
Sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I know that Rat has ambitions to use this material in crafting enhancements for his weapon. Do any of the rest of you have anything in mind?
It almost seemed to have some kind of... I wonder if we could use it to track other bits of it. Like maybe make a compass out of it. Or a directional pointer.
That
Maybe-
actually
maybe-
seems rather reasonable, given.
Yeah, maybe find other sites like that, or even other smaller chunks of starfall on our journeys.
I am somewhat versed in alchemy. I may be able to, with assistance, think of something useful for that.
I have out of character come up with a funny and I think interesting design for how that might work.
You can do that if you want.
I was just talking about like the design of the thing,
Yeah.
because it seems to like they fall in a certain direction. Like, what if it's like just a thing that you hit at the bottom of, and whatever direction they're drawn toward as they're falling is the way you need to go, as opposed to like a compass needle. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does.
Okay.
Kyle, Brent, do you have any insights on this material, or what you might like to do with it?
See a piece of it.
Absolutely. It's in Molly's pack.
He walks over and takes some out.
I am modifying an item. I guess you can actually... Do you want me to spoil it for you, Albatross, or do you want it to be left not, crossed out? Because I have something that could work very well if this is something you want. But I guess that's also a thing that we can talk about later. You can click on that if you want to earlier, but that's up to you.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to do on this 50th day? The last before the Quirax?
Not that I can think of. I kind of just. I
You
think I'm just
have-
kind of.
I was about to say, JC, you have all of my, at least the gist of my Quaric plans, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I would still like people to formalize a few of them, just written down so that but
Okay. Yeah. Actually, let me do that right now while I have some time.
Actually, I suppose this is as good a time as any. I have heard that the imperial traditions regarding the Quirax are somewhat different to those where I came from. Although I have not,
Fair warning.
until
I'm not
recently
spelling
had.
this word right.
Until
Sorry.
recently, I have not had the opportunity to actually speak with anyone from the Empire about such traditions. What say we take some time to share a bit about where each of us comes from in that regard? This is, after all, the last day of the old year.
Can you repeat the request one more time? I was typing.
Basically saying, hey, I haven't ever had a chance really to talk with someone about how they celebrate the Quirax in the Empire. Want to share stories and such,
Oh,
or share info?
absolutely. Because I grew up in the Empire, but not in the Empire, kind of on the outskirts of it. It's not really the same as what I'm assuming a big city queric's gonna look like, but it really was just like once a year we'd get together, we'd fix up the village, we'd remember those we had lost, and we'd, well, do our best to celebrate the little things from the year. There was no big feast day or anything like that, but we had something special planned for the feast day. It was cozy.
It's good to hear.
Yeah. How about you? It didn't even occur to me until just now that you guys would have these different traditions, which is a shame to me as an archaeologist here. How
No, keep going.
I just stumbled over my own words. How did how about you all?
Are you directing that to the party as a whole, or to?
Yeah, I'm directing
your
it to everybody.
Okay,
You are in the party as a whole now.
that is true.
You should talk to yourself now.
Well, seeing as I'm the only one here from the kingdoms, I suppose it's only fair to share a bit about the traditions themselves. So, from what I'm given to understand, the first day of the Quirax is mostly the same between the Empire and the kingdoms. A day of cleansing of the body and the mind in honor of the water bearer. But aside from that, the details are a bit murky in regards to how the Empire celebrates. But for us, on the second day, we honor the lover and remind ourselves of the importance of bonds of all kinds. Platonic, familial. And the third day is, of course, dedicated to Lady Moon. And on that day, it is tradition for lenders to erase records of debts so that the loss that they endure may serve to bolster the debtors who relied on their services.
That's fast.
Aside from that, we have the ferryman coming around to loosen the veil between the living and the dead as he comes to reap the old year. The spellweaver and the architect coming together to celebrate the new possibilities that the new year brings. The Mistress of Misfortune even makes an appearance on the sixth day, though on that day specifically we try not to go out lest we invoke her wrath. And finally, the seventh day is a feast in honor of the mother. Apologies,
No, not at all. No need to apologize. Thank you.
Right.
What about
Kind
you,
of looks
Tom?
up. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're up.
Right. Kind of looks up to Hiroe and goes, like, kind of narrows his eyes.
Why you think I not know what time means or is? Where
Just kind of shakes his head.
Anytime we talked about the gods around you before, you seemed to not know about them or have very little care for them, so I had assumed that a time dedicated to them like this would be something you were uninterested in.
Don't think that gods make rain fall, but still have to pay attention when rain does fall. World still changes, even if not interested in God. Granted, only remember one before, but world changed, things different during week to week. Might not know God custom have, but kobolds still have own custom.
My apologies, I should not have made that assumption.
Kind of snarks a little bit and just like kind of shrugs.
Not that really know or believe much that either. All Rat knows is that world is different. Curious why change, how change, but one of few things not agree kobold with. Don't think that dragon related. Even if dragon real and here,
As he kind of looks up with his eyes, like kind of staring and here away.
don't think quirk relate.
Right. If I may ask, how did you celebrate that one year?
He kind of sighs a little bit.
Was very young. Barely remember still. Technically experienced too, but soft-born hatchling. Eyes not open yet. So first true time. Foggy, young. Remember much food some days, no food others. Important no food eat. Moss have do something. Made him very proud.
And he uses like a draconic familial term for him that is like specifically clearly referring to somebody. He says in draconic because he doesn't know how to say it otherwise.
Alright.
First Karak have
And he says it better this time.
that. Really can think remember. Am only two after all.
Pyro looks a little shocked that he hadn't realized just how young Rat was. He knew kobolds were, they age a little bit differently, but there's clearly a bit of a, huh?
Pretty soon, give it a few more months and it'll have been about half his life.
Oh my god.
Oh, jeez. We gotta work on the rat live longer potion.
No, I mean,
No?
he will have spent
he
half
can-
his
I will
life
have been
with the
living
party.
half of. Yeah.
Oh.
Keep in mind, Rat is. Kobolds live for like
They still live for a while.
a very long
If
time.
they don't explode.
Right.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
they
yeah,
don't
yeah.
explode
They
of rock
naturally
cave
live a
in.
long time. The average is
No
much-
one actually knows how long kobolds can live for because they always end up.
The
You know, they're like
average
hamsters.
kobold life may be like 6 years, but that doesn't mean that they die of natural causes.
So you're saying we have to work on removing him from the unnatural causes?
Yeah, there are old kobold
Or
like
just give 'em,
casters
like, a
that are
helmet.
in their like 80s that are
Right.
leading villages or leading warrens or whatever, but they're very rare.
I just mean the
They
bombs
die
you're always
because
making.
they are the ones who did not die, not the other way around.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But-
Do they
They're
have
like
all of their
hamsters,
digits?
none-
No. Sorry.
I was gonna say
Not
they're like
hamsters.
hamsters. None of them ever die a normal death.
No.
Rat's gonna go the baking soda vinegar route.
No.
Me when I chug a rock melter bomb because it's yummy.
It's also an inside melter bomb. And how about you, Kyle?
Oh, all of the normal things. You know,
I don't know.
those things that, yeah, you know, they do.
What's normal in your case? Normal for me is different from normal for you, as we all just kind of saw.
Rat kind of pipes up.
Oh, do remember bite heads off lizards.
There you go.
Right, no, not that. No, definitely not that. Just, so I actually have the document up that describes the Carracks
Mhm.
in the Empire. But I, as a player, do not know them. I could read it off, or I can just tell you that he will say the customs of the Empire, as the things that he does where he's from. Very normal, very standard.
Is it in such a way that other players might be able to make an insight check, or
Well, I DM'd you for that, but if you, yes, no, he very much not being. I mean, you're welcome to make an insight check if you'd like to.
I did not see that actually.
Tefford is prying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same.
Sorry, I should have checked the DM. I did not see it because I have streamer mode because we are streaming.
No, it's fine.
Tefford is prying.
Tefford ends up going into the details of one of the specific festivities and asks him how he handles it, and Kaio improvs a little bit, and then would Tefford be willing to be a bit mischievous if he feels or lie a bit to attempt to catch him in a lie?
Absolutely.
So it's worth
Okay.
noting, I've been in Empire territory for the
Right.
last several, maybe 6 years
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
So he's accustomed to the things.
Right,
It's-
but considering that he said, normal, would
Oh,
Kaio
yeah.
I could see Tefford just like being like, oh yeah, do you do this? And just like how do you choose to do blank? And the blank is just totally made up. Right?
I don't think Tefford would do something completely made, because Tefford probably has less of an idea of how main Empire ceremonies go than
Good
Kaio
point.
does.
Good point, actually.
Right, that's what I've been, integrated into this society for long enough. I've got familiarity.
I haven't. Yeah, it's
The normal
Didn't you
things.
spend a while in the academies in the Volston territory?
Cleaning
yeah,
things,
No,
loving
he
other
He was
things.
only there for about a year. Most of it was at Karam.
yeah.
Oh, I
Eating a
thought
lot.
It was mostly spent studying too, like even
Right.
during the
Oh,
Kara.
yeah, true.
Yeah, on the job, essentially.
Yeah, fair.
Lots of traveling.
Anyway, it's all very fun and enjoyable, but it's not particularly exciting. Not when you've done it as many times as I have, anyway.
Well, maybe we can have a new normal this year. I'm excited to spend it with you guys.
As am I.
Haven't really had a good chance to sit down and celebrate a Carrick in a couple of years now.
I do worry that some of the differences in traditions may cause some issues. For instance, correct
We
me if
can
I'm
go-
wrong. The people of the Empire do revere Lord Sun, correct?
Typically. As far as I know. We can get Rat a Lizard.
Oh, easily.
I am very glad that y'all are doing this while not around Lake Glebo.
Oh, no. Well, we're talking common. He doesn't know what we're talking about.
Oh, true, true. Even if you are, yeah, would you be so bold as to do it in front of them?
I wouldn't
Oh.
mention that in front of them. No,
Well, I
they're
mean, like that's what I'm
Oh.
saying. In common, would you be talking about it in common if you think they can't hear you?
No, Tefford wouldn't make that comment in front of
Okay.
of our new best friend.
Just in case.
Yeah.
It's all been
That
a
seems
ploy
in-
for
that
them to
seems
figure out if you're
insensitive.
willing to be mean behind their backs. Of note, anything simple that's a gift that's not like actually a mechanical impact, like if you're not actually adding it to your character sheet or anything, it is part of the lifestyle expenses for the week. So you don't have to you're not actually paying extra for it. So try to think of something good.
Am I charged any for
No,
what I got?
it
was
is
that?
part of your lifestyle expenses.
Okay, yeah, I just wasn't sure how much of like the one thing would be like considered not part of the lifestyle expenses.
Right.
Yeah.
You might want to do a slightly more expensive lifestyle expenses if you want it to be nice.
Tefford probably will be.
And what of you, friend? Have any of the traditions mentioned so far sounded interesting?
I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it.
Well, if there was ever a good time to know the spirit of the people, it'll be during a Carrick. How do I pronounce this word, by the way? I just want to make sure. Querac, thank you.
Mhm. Don't worry, this has been an ongoing debate for like the past 3 years, IRL.
That makes sense.
It depends. It's a regional dialect. Either way is genuinely fine.
I'm trying to portmanteau Quirk and Carrick, and that's much harder than you think. I'm very excited to celebrate this with you guys.
As am I.
Let me just...
In the meantime, we should probably just take some time to rest.
All right. It'll be good tomorrow, especially we got a lot of cleaning to do tomorrow.
Right. On that
I'll be
note,
on mule duty.
I should probably scout out to see if there are any bathhouses that will be granting admittance tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. It's like a big city. It's gonna have like a big bathhouse. That'll be fun.
What was the first part of the Querex again?
Like the first day, or
Yeah, isn't the first day ending?
no,
Just
no,
now.
no, 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 no. Correct. Start next week.
We're having our beach episode next week.
Yes.
We're gonna have to roll weather and everything. Figure out. He's trying to process some of the starfall into magic and/or trade goods, those sorts of things.
But with that, anyone else have anything we'd like to say before?
No, I think I'm good. I want to, yeah. This would be a good opportunity. I had some plans, I'm gonna get to type them out.
Okay.
I've been so busy.
No worries, I totally understand.
So,
Just
yeah,
survive.
Yeah, fortunately, the end of the year is here, so.
Kaio's not going to say much. That kind of sullenness that has been underneath the surface all of this trip, now that the Queric is tomorrow, he's doing a much worse job of hiding it. He's still good enough at it that it's not very obvious, but he's not chatty, chipper, just kind of
Real sad boy hours.
like staring off into the distance a lot, and if you approach him, yeah, sure, he'll turn back on and mask it, but
Tefred still got the 22 earlier if he wants to do anything about it.
What was that?
You got a 22,
22
earlier
inside.
if you wanted to do anything about it. Figuring
Oh,
out
I
that
thought-
he's
I
being a
thought he
bit
beat me.
glum.
no, you actually got. Yeah, no, you did very well.
I was fully under the assumption that he beat me.
So,
I think
can I
Tefred
say
is-
what you would have noticed?
Yes,
Is that fair?
absolutely. That will help a lot.
Yes. So, if you ask him any details-based questions, he has the knowledge of it, but
Mhm.
you can tell as he's saying it that it's kind of like one step removed. Like, oh, and what do you do? I like fishing and the bathing. That is a thing that is done. He's saying it in such a way that it's
It feels a little rehearsed.
exactly that. Yes.
More story than lived in.
If you're familiar with how lying, somebody that is practicing and telling a lie has more information than someone that's just organically telling you something.
Yes. Okay. I think Tefred's going to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to make this the best Karak ever.
Aw, what a guy.
Yeah. I have to shut a card door. Alright. I actually have to get up now. I'm sorry.
Godspeed.
Well, with that,
Yeah.
my friend, we have made it to the end of Young Seed.
Yes.
Yippee!
Next week
So
we get to
excited.
enjoy the Karax as they bring along with them strange weather, probably, in strange times, probably, in strange holidays, definitely.
Mhm.
Perhaps after that, if the party has successfully either stored or processed enough of their Skyfall, they can head out for a great journey to the south in an attempt to help the Skinks reclaim a bit of their homes.
Last comment before we go. It's incredible how quickly I am to be allies with something if it has a ridiculous, funny little name.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. All right, I actually have to go now. Bye.
Farewell. With that, it is the end. And I look forward greatly to seeing y'all next week.
Same.
Adios.
Have a beautiful night.